all bullied me into seeing the Snow White remake, and it went about how I expected. It turns out Rachel Zegler was not lying. It really was a movie all about Snow White becoming the leader she knows she can be. And instead of being a reluctant leader like the best leaders in fiction, Snow White is not that. She is instead a reluctant lover. Instead of dreaming of true love, she actually resists it when she encounters it. She's kind of like smug to the guy that she ends up falling in love with. You guys remember that photo that leaked out that we thought was the dwarves? Well, it turns out it's not. They were in the movie though. It's a group of bandits, and that's who Snow White falls in love with in this version. It is a guy who is a thief with a heart of gold, of course. And Doc even says, oh, they're existing in the liminal space where ethics are unclear or something like that. The dialogue in this movie is just so pretentious, and the evil queen has some of the worst, and her line delivery is just downright awful. But this film is much too focused on how evil the queen is and not how sweet and lovable Snow White and the dwarves are. The film starts off showing the backstory, which was there in the original one, but they flesh it out a little bit. I'm actually all for that, but then after seeing the story of Snow White's father, the previous king, now he's all that she talks about in practically every scene. It's like, can we stop talking about your dad for 5 minutes? And whereas Snow White in the original film was just the embodiment of grace and love and kindness, where she went out of her way to help the dwarves before she even met them. She was hesitant to sleep in their house. She cleaned up after them and did all of these nice things for them. She was trying to get Grumpy to like her. In this one, she just goes straight into the house and falls straight asleep, and she doesn't clean up after anybody. She just kind of bosses them around. They start fighting with each other, which didn't happen in the original one, and she's like, hey guys, cut it out. And the dwarves are just these plastic looking monstrosities. They don't have that lovable quality that made them great in the original one. My favorite part of the original film is all the little gags that they had with the animals and the dwarves especially. The little visual details kept a smile on my face throughout the entire film. In the original one, we all loved Dopey. He was so lovable, even though he did a bunch of stupid, goofy stuff. But in this one, they don't see what made the original Dopey so lovable, and instead they make it that he has to speak in order to be legitimate. Snow White even has to teach the dwarves how to whistle while they work. And oh yeah, the music is all original in this. Even the songs that are from the original one are completely rewritten, and it is just absolutely excruciating. The original film is a classic not just because it was the first major animated feature film, but because it has that lovable quality and attention to detail that just brings a smile to your face. And this one is just a travesty by comparison.